Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You've seen me before up here. I'm the one who came up right to you the last board meeting a couple years ago. And, I feel like it's important for you to understand where I come from. So I'm going to tell you all the hats that I wear in this district, and there are a lot. First of all, I'm a parent. My daughter attends school at the Jefferson Elementary Preschool Program. She has special needs, and she's getting great services from the educators, the principal, and the assistant principal at Jefferson. I'm very happy there. I've been an educator in this district for 7 years, and I teach 5th grade at Tuscan Elementary. That's my second hat. And third hat is that I'm an executive board member of SOMEA. I work on communications and community events to support the families and the community in this district. And I'm a resident of Maplewood. And I am very proud to be an educator here. I live life with as much integrity as possible, and I'm going to stand up and take action when I see that it's needed. I serve this community with my whole entire heart. I love being an educator here. I'm here to tell you my story as a parent. I'm concerned about the state of special education programs in the district. Although I've been in the district for 7 years, I've been an educator for 13 years. I've been supporting children and advocating for them for years, and sometimes successfully, and most heartbreakingly, sometimes not. So I'm going to tell you what has happened to me recently, and before I start, I just want to thank all the people behind me, most of whom I know, who have been here and are sitting here to support me. And I want to thank you, many of you who I voted for, because I'm putting my faith and my trust in you. And I want you to know that this is a very difficult story to tell. And but it's important, because if I'm going to show my students that they need to be the one sometimes to stand up, even when it's hard, then I'm going to model that. So that's what I'm doing. I'm modeling. My daughter was harassed by children and an aide on a bus coming home from school. And instead of doing a HIB investigation, the supervisor for special ed services, Ms. Rideau, did a check into the matter and confirmed that the aide did in fact take part in the harassment. Children were telling my daughter that monsters would get her if she didn't put her jacket on a bus. And the aide said, "You heard what they said," instead of standing up for my child. This is just the most heart-wrenching, horrible thing to happen to my 4-year-old daughter. And this is where I stop and drop the script, because I'm going to tell you something I wasn't planning on telling you. She has special needs. She has speech delays. In her IEP, it says that the aides are supposed to be trained to handle this, and it's not happening. They're not trained. The commission trains them. That is an orientation telling them to be on time. It is not a training, and it is a travesty, because this could have been handled so many different ways. But let me tell you, it gets worse, because my husband called, and the principal and assistant principal and the preschool teacher were shocked. How could this have happened? It was an allegation. And they were like, well, even if it's an allegation, we have to look into this. But when we went to the supervisor, the two options we were given was, one, well, we could restrain your child to keep her jacket on. Punitive of my child? When she was harassed? I don't understand that could even be an option. But no, but we won't do that because she seems like a lovely child. Okay, what's the next option? She could take another bus. She'll get home at 4, even though she now gets home at 2:45. And my husband responded, that's just ludicrous. And he came up with the third option, was remove the aide, retrain the aide. And actually, you would think, oh, an easy fix. But it was balked at. No, then all the kids will have to get to know a new aide. All the children will have to get to know a new aide. No kidding. That was what was necessary. So, finally, My husband heard the words he wanted to hear, that we all wanted to hear, new aide. The next day, my husband ensured that my daughter got on the bus with a new aide. And to his surprise, it was also a new driver, a substitute driver. So he felt confident that my daughter was going to get home safely and that there would be no harassment. But when she arrived at home, she was in a restraint. She was in a restraint. Why? And I still don't know. That happened in March. I still don't know. I can't find district policy on it, that we're even allowed to use restraints in this district. I looked on the bus transportation pamphlet I was given. That's an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper folded in 3 that says nothing about that policy. She came home and I failed to mention, she was having nightmares running around the house saying, monsters are going to get me for a week, before we could even figure out that this was happening. And now she's coming home saying, I'm naughty. How do I deal with this? How do I deal with this? Working in the district and having this happen, it was unbelievable. And I'm thankful for the support of the people behind me, and I'm thankful for the support of my friends. I'm thankful for the support of CPAC, who I went to immediately. But now I need your support, because we cannot have the same administration becoming the director, because there was no HIB investigation, and it was intimidation and bullying, and there was no HIB investigation done. And I don't understand how you could let this happen to my child. I don't understand. She is 4 years old. And I was up with her at 3 o'clock in the morning while she's screaming about monsters. I can see on your faces you're hearing me. This is the most upsetting situation, and it didn't have to be. It didn't have to get out of control this way. It didn't have to come down to my husband and I writing enough emails that took us 12 hours to write over and over again, trying to get answers, to finally CCing Mr. Stern and finally getting a meeting. I don't understand why we're wasting our resources this way. The issue is that we're not organized well for special ed. We don't have the proper training, and we're hurting our children, and we're wasting money. It's not efficient, it's not effective, and we're not keeping our children safe. And I'm not just speaking for my kid, because who knows how many other people, how many other children are affected by this lack of training. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Ms. Perrotta.